I was only 12 when I started paying real attention to my grandfather, William Cole. A tall man with silver hair, deep-set blue eyes, and a voice like steady thunder. Grandpa Will, as everyone called him, carried himself with quiet dignity. He was 83 when he sat me down one summer afternoon on the old porch swing and told me that if I listened closely, I could avoid most of the pain life throws at people. "You won't understand it all now, kid," he said, a glass of sweet tea in his hand. "But someday, these words will echo when you need them the most." He was right. I grew up in Charleston, South Carolina, where the summers were sticky and the stars shone brighter than most places I've been since. Grandpa lived with us in a small room at the back of the house after Grandma passed. While some kids avoided their grandparents, I was drawn to him. He had stories, real stories, not fairy tales but slices of life carved from hardship, discipline, joy, and heartbreak. He never gave me a list. He gave me moments. And over the years, I stitched together his advice like patches on a quilt. Now, at 34, I finally understand how precious those lessons were. The first time I really heard him was when I came home crying after a baseball game. I'd struck out 3 times and got laughed at by the older kids. Grandpa will put his hand on my shoulder and said, "Lesson 1, don't let shame stay too long. It'll rot you from the inside." I didn't get it then, but I remembered it. When I turned 15, I got into a fight at school. A boy named Jake had said something about my mom. I broke his nose. That night, Grandpa didn't scold me. He sat me on the porch again and lit his pipe. He looked out at the magnolia trees and said, "Lesson 2, sometimes anger will feel like justice. But wait a while. Justice don't need fists." I thought he was being soft. Years later, I punched my best friend over a business deal gone wrong. We didn't speak for a decade. Only then did I grasp what Grandpa meant. Grandpa's life was not easy. He served in Korea, worked as a machinist for 30 years, buried 2 brothers, 1 son, and his wife of 44 years. Yet he smiled. Not the fake kind. The peaceful kind. "Lesson 3, he said once while teaching me how to whittle. "Life's heavy. Smile anyway. It lightens the load." 17, I got my heart broken. Her name was Eliza and I thought we'd get married someday. She left a note and moved away. That night, Grandpa didn't ask questions. He handed me a root beer and said, "Lesson 4, pain don't ask permission. But neither does healing. Let it come." After I graduated high school, I didn't know what to do. I didn't get into my dream college, and I was too proud to go to the local community school. Grandpa didn't push me. Instead, he brought out his old toolbox and said, "Lesson 5, you don't gotta follow the crowd. But you do gotta keep moving." So I got a job painting houses. It wasn't glamorous, but it taught me discipline. One day while I was scrubbing paint off my arms, Grandpa said, "Lesson 6, sweat teaches better than comfort ever will." He believed in hard work but never glorified burnout. When I started pulling double shifts in my mid-20s to pay off debt, he noticed the bags under my eyes. "Lesson 7, he whispered, "if work costs you your health, it's too expensive." I remember the day he gave me his old journal. Inside were scraps of thoughts, notes to himself, and passages he liked. "Lesson 8, he told me, "write things down. Memory is a liar, but paper's honest." Grandpa didn't believe in shortcuts. "Lesson 9, he said during one of our many backyard walks, "every shortcut comes with a toll. Sometimes you don't see the bill until years later." He taught me how to fix a car, cook a decent stew, and speak respectfully even when angry. Lesson 10, respect doesn't mean agreement. It means decency. When my best friend lost his dad, I didn't know how to comfort him. I asked Grandpa what to say. He said, "Lesson 11, when people grieve, don't offer answers. Offer presence." As I got older, his words hit harder. He never boasted about money. He never showed off. Lesson 12, richness has nothing to do with your wallet and everything to do with your spirit. When I was 26, I made a terrible financial decision. I invested in a startup that went belly up within 8 months. I lost most of my savings. I was angry at the world. Grandpa sat beside me in silence for a long time. Then he said, Lesson 13, you can curse the rain or you can learn to plant something that grows in it. He always spoke in metaphors. It was his way. By the time I turned 30, I was starting to understand his patience. How he listened more than he spoke. Lesson 14, people will tell you who they are. Listen close. Don't argue with the truth they give you. He warned me about ego. Lesson 15, the louder your pride, the weaker your character. One of the deepest lessons came one evening while we watched a thunderstorm roll in. Lesson 16, storms don't last, but how you stand in them matters more than how long they rage. He loved storms. He said they reminded him of youth. Loud, wild, unpredictable, but eventually passing. When my father, his son, passed away from a heart attack at 52, I saw a part of Grandpa break. But he didn't collapse. He cried, then planted a tree in Dad's memory. Lesson 17, he told me. Grief is a seed. You choose if it grows flowers or thorns. He encouraged me to travel, even when money was tight. Lesson 18. Travel doesn't make you better than anyone. It just makes you understand more people. He believed in love but never fairy tale love. Lesson 19. Marry someone you can laugh with when the world feels like it's falling apart. When I finally met Leah, my wife, Grandpa saw her once and whispered to me, "That's a woman with roots. Don't waste time with shallow soil." I asked him what he regretted. He smiled faintly and said, Lesson 20, regret is a teacher, not a roommate. Learn and move. He told me how he once missed a chance to tell his own father he forgave him. Lesson 21. Say the hard words while the ears are still listening. He urged me to take care of my body. Lesson 22. Your knees won't always bend, your back won't always carry. Be kind to the parts of you that keep you going. Grandpa believed strongly in forgiveness. Not for others but for yourself. Lesson 23. You'll mess up. Often. Forgive the younger version of you. He was doing his best. When I struggled with identity and purpose, he said, Lesson 24. You are not your job, your bank balance, or your mistakes. You are how you treat people when you think no one's watching. When our first child, Henry, was born, Grandpa held him close and said, Lesson 25. Children don't need perfect parents. They need present ones. The final conversation we had before his memory started slipping came on his 83rd birthday. I asked him to give me every lesson he could remember. He smiled. Then he spoke for nearly 2 hours. I wrote down every word. Here's the heart of what he told me, summed in my words and his voice. Love your partner deeply. Say, I'm sorry without ego. Save money but don't hoard it. Be kind to strangers. Never underestimate a good night's sleep. Learn to cook at least 3 solid meals. Keep learning. Never stop asking questions. Hug your mom while she's still alive. Trust slowly but love fully. Laugh at yourself. Take care of your teeth. Always be 10 minutes early.